morning to everyone. Welcome to our online lecture series. Okay, is the initiative of the LG Institute of Pharmacy. You can see this all the video on our YouTube channel, that is the Pharma Ignite. Now, in our today's sessions, I will continue with the immunity chapter. Okay, is a part of pharmaceutical biotechnology. So, students, in our last lecture, we discussed about the hypersensitivity reactions. Okay, and in our previous video we discussed about the type of immune system, that is the innate immune system and the adaptive immune system. In adaptive immune system, main the two types is there, that is the humoral immunity and cellular immunity. In humoral immunity, we know that the B cell is responsible to produce the antibody. Now here today we will discuss about this antibody. Okay, we will discuss about the source of the antibody, okay, from which we can collect this antibody. Suppose for example, if any human is there, means if any individual is immunocompromised and is suffered by some of the disease and we want to treat the disease by supplying the antibody, so from which source we can collect this antibody? So main the two sources there for collecting the antibody, that is the natural immunizations and second one is the artificial techniques. So let's move toward the today's topic, that is the sources of antibody. So if we talk about the sources of antibody, two types is there. First one is the natural immunizations and second one is the artificial techniques, that is the hybridoma techniques through which we can produce the antibody. Now natural immunization. So what is the natural immunization? Okay, so here if I talk about the natural immunizations, so in that simply we will inject the antigens in particular animal. That animal immune system is activated in response to that antigens and it will start to produce the antibody. Okay, now when the sufficient antibody produced in the animal, later on we will collect the blood. Okay, we will remove the RBC and we will collect the serum. Okay, this serum is the reach of the antibody and this serum reach of the antibody is called as anti-sera. Okay, and this anti-sera is used as a preparation to treat the disease. Okay, it is injected into the human volunteer, that immune system is compromised. Now what are the limitations of these natural immunizations? So simply when we collect the serum, okay, from the animals, okay, so that serum, no doubt the serum contains that particular antibody, but side by side this serum also contains the other antibody, because that animal exposed to the different antigens, and that's why the different B cells of that antigens animals is produce the different antibody. So that serum is the mixture of many antibody, and that's why we can say is that whatever the antibody that we receive by the serum is the polyclonal. Polyclonal means the many antibody is present in that serum preparation, and due to the mixture of antibody, whatever the main desired antibody is, that sensitivity is going to decrease. So sensitivity of the desired antibody is decreased due to this mixture of antibodies. So that is the first limitations of this immunizations technique. Second limitations, okay, if we collect the serum from the animals and repeatedly we inject into the human volunteer, that antibody is required by that, repeatedly we inject the what it is serum, okay, anti-sera into the human volunteer, that immune system is already compromised. So ultimately sometimes the other protein components of this anti-sera may induce the allergic reaction. Other protein component of this anti-sera may induce the allergic reactions, otherwise you can say is that the hypersensitivity reactions. Okay, so it may be dangerous for the human. Third limitations of the immunization, that is, okay, here is the mixture of antibody, so the remaining antibody is not in our interest. Okay, no doubt it will decrease the sensitivity, and this all the antibody is not required by the human volunteer. Then why we should inject this all the antibody? We require only one specific antibody, and that antibody should be injected into the human. So natural immunizations provide the mixture of antibody, is not provide the specific antibody also only. So that's why if you want to provide the specific antibody, then we should move toward the another technique, that is nothing but the artificial immunizations. Artificial immunizations means in that we prepare the monoclonal antibody. The next technique, that is the hybridoma techniques. Now what is the hybridoma techniques? This hybridoma techniques is also called as a monoclonal antibody production process. is the monoclonal antibody production process. Now, what to do in this hybridoma techniques? What is the procedure of this hybridoma techniques? That we will discuss one by one. Okay, here listen carefully. This hybridoma techniques. Now, what to do in this process? So here in the hybridoma techniques, we will inject the particular antigens. We will inject a particular antigen in rat, otherwise mice. Okay, we will inject the particular antigen into the rat or mice. Okay, means first step of this hybridoma techniques process is immunizations of the specific animal. Generally we prefer the rat, otherwise the mice, with generate the hybridoma cells with the spleen cell. Okay, so first technique, that is immunization. Okay, so immunization is done. Now this rat immune system is activated. The rat immune system is activated, and this activated immune system will start to produce the B cell. Will start to produce the B cell, and that B cell is capable to produce the antibody. This B cell is present in the spleen. The B cell is present in the spleen. So here later on we will sacrifice that animals. We will isolate the spleen. In the spleen that cells is available. Okay, we will collect that plasma cell. We will collect that plasma cell. Otherwise we can say that we will collect that spleen cell. Okay, that spleen cell is capable, that plasma cell is capable to produce the antibody. The plasma cell, okay, this is nothing but, okay, you can see in the larger picture. Okay, here this is nothing but the spleen cell is nothing but the lymphocytes, is the one type of lymphocyte. So this lymphocytes, okay, is isolated from the animals, and this lymphocytes is capable to produce the antibody. Now, why? What is need to go for the productions of hybrid cell? Sorry, what is need to go for productions of the hybrid cell? So here, whatever the lymphocyte is produced, is no doubt this lymphocyte is capable to produce the antibody, but lifespan of this lymphocyte cell is very less, is around 1 week only. So we can produce the antibody from this lymphocyte cell for 1 week only. Later on we cannot produce the antibody. Okay, to produce the antibody we should go for the other immunization process. Okay, so that's why we should produce such a cell, that cell should produce the antibody for the long period of the time. The cell should produce the antibody for long period of the time, and that's why we will fuse the cell, this lymphocyte cell, with myeloma cells. This myeloma cell is nothing but the cancerous cell. Okay, we will isolate this myeloma cell from the bone marrow. We can isolate this myeloma cell from the bone marrow. Okay, so from bone marrow we will isolate. Second step is isolations of the myeloma cell. So we will isolate the myeloma cell from the bone marrow. Now this myeloma cell is considered as an immortal cell. Immortal cell means that cell never die. The cell remain alive for the long period of the time if the sufficient nutrient and everything is provided. So that cell is continuously undergo the multiplication process. So we will collect the myeloma cell. Okay, we have a lymphocyte cell. Now the next step of this hybridoma technique, that is the fusion of this spleen cell, fusions of this lymphocyte cell and myeloma cells. Okay, fusions is facilitated by PEG, polyethylene glycol. Fusion is facilitated by the PEG, that is the polyethylene glycol. Okay, polyethylene glycol is prepared for the fusion of this myeloma cell and lymphocyte cell. Now when this fusion process is initiated, okay, on that time all the cell is undergo the fusion process. Second one, okay, every time one lymphocyte cell and one myeloma cell is undergo the fusion process. Okay, sometimes two lymphocyte cell is also undergo the fusion process, two myeloma cell is also undergo the fusion process. Okay, so different fusion is occurred. So that's why the same type of cell is not going to produce. Okay, here when the fusion is occurred, total 5 different type of cell is produced. Total 5 different type of cell is going to produce. First one, that is the fused plasma cell. First one is the fused plasma cell, means the two plasma cell is going to fuse to each other and make one fusion cell. Second one is a fused myeloma cell. Okay, two myeloma cell is undergo the fusion. Okay, in presence of PEG. Third one, that is one plasma cell and one myeloma cell is undergo the fusion process and it will produce the hybridoma cell. Fourth one, that is the unfused plasma. Some of the plasma cell is not undergo the fusion process. Fifth one, that is the unfused myeloma cell. Some of the myeloma cell is also not undergo the fusion process. Okay, so total 5 type of the cell is generated. We require only one type, that is the hybridoma cell. We require only one type of cell, that is the hybridoma cell. Now, how to isolate? How to isolate this hybridoma cell from this all remaining cell? So we can isolate with the help of the special medium, that is a HET medium. Okay, we can isolate with the help of special medium, that is HET medium. Okay, here you can see here the fourth step, that is the selection of the HET medium. What is the full form of this HET medium? HET medium means, okay, hypoxanthine, aminopterin and thymine. HET medium means hypoxanthine, aminopterin and thymine. Now what is the role of this HET medium? Okay, so simply here whatever the fusion cell, mixture of fusion cell that we received, okay, that mixture of fusion cell later on subjected to the HET medium. Okay, we know that when any cell is undergo the new DNA copying process, on that time they generally prefer the two pathway for the nucleotide synthesis. First one, that is the salvage pathway, and second one is the de novo synthesis. Okay, salvage pathway and de novo synthesis. Now here this de novo synthesis, okay, for this de novo synthesis process, the dihydrofolate enzymes is required. Dihydrofolate enzymes is required, and which is blocked by the aminopterin. Which is blocked by the aminopterin is the part of HET medium. It is blocked by the aminopterin is the part of HET medium. Okay, HET medium means hypoxanthine, aminopterin and thymidine. Okay, so whatever the aminopterin that is present in this HET medium, this aminopterin will block the dihydrofolate enzymes, and that's why the cell is not undergo the synthesis process, nucleotide synthesis process by the de novo synthesis. Okay, so that's why it is compulsory for the cell to synthesize the nucleotide by the salvage pathway. Is nothing but we can call it as a alternative pathway. Okay, but for the synthesis of the nucleotide by this alternative pathway, they require the special enzyme that is called as a HGPRT. They require the special enzyme that is a HGPRT, and that is a hypoxanthine guanine phosphoribosyl transferase. And this enzyme is present in plasma cell only. It is not present in the myeloma cell. This enzyme is present in plasma cell only. So with the help of this enzyme, with the help of hypoxanthine and thymidine as a precursor, okay, is a part of this medium. So with the help of this enzyme and hypoxanthine and thymidine as a precursor, okay, this cell means the plasma cell will follow the alternative pathway, that is nothing but the salvage pathway, and synthesize the nucleotides. Now total 5 different type of cell that is available to us. Okay, now in which cell that enzyme should be present? Okay, so here if we talk about the fusion process, after fusion total 5 cells is going to produce. Fused plasma is there, is nothing but the 2 lymphocyte cell is going to fuse, so this enzyme should be present in that. Fused myeloma cell is there, both myeloma cell is there. In the myeloma cell this enzyme is not present, so that's why myeloma cell cannot use the hypoxanthine and thymidine as a precursor and cannot undergo the nucleotide synthesis process by the salvage pathway. So myeloma cell, due to the absence of this enzyme, due to the absence of the HGPRT, myeloma cell growth will not occur and death of this myeloma cell is occur. Death of this myeloma cell is occur. myeloma cell actually is the immortal in nature, but they can grow only by de novo synthesis process, and this de novo synthesis process is blocked by the aminopterin. Okay, is the part of head medium. So the myeloma cell death is like a now hybridoma cell is the mixture of the lymphocyte cell and myeloma cell. So lymphocyte cell is present in means part of the lymphocyte cell is there. So it should possess the HGPRT, and that's why the HGPRT is present in the hybridoma cell. So it can synthesize the nucleotide by the alternative pathway. Unfused plasma cell also contain the HGPRT, and unfused myeloma cell is the absent. So HGPRT is present in the three cells, that is a fused plasma, hybridoma and unfused plasma. This fused plasma and unfused plasma, okay, both can remain alive by this alternative pathway, but the lifespan of this plasma is very less. So within short period of the time, this plasma cell will destroy. Now among these 5 different type of cell, only one cell is remain alive, that is the hybridoma cell. That is a hybridoma cell. Understand? Okay, so this is about how we can isolate the hybridoma. How we can isolate the hybridoma cell. So fifth stage is completed, that is the isolations of the hybridoma cell. Now hybridoma cell is isolated, remaining all the cell is removed. Now this hybridoma cell, okay, is subjected for the antibody production process. Okay, so antibody production process that done by the two way, that is the in vivo and in vitro. That is the in vivo and in vitro. But before subjecting for this antibody production process, okay, this hybridoma cell is a single type of cell and can produce a single type of antibody. So monoclonal antibody production can be done this by this hybridoma cell. But before subjecting this antibody production process, okay, we should screen this hybridoma cell whether this hybridoma cell is proper or not. Okay, so screening of hybridoma cell is done by the ELISA test. Screening of hybridoma cell is done by the ELISA test. By the ELISA test, the special color is produced in presence of the enzymes, and from this test we come to know is the proper hybridoma cell. Once the screening is completed, later on we can subject this hybridoma cell for the antibody production process. We can prepare any techniques, that is the in vivo, otherwise in vitro. In vivo techniques, generally we subject, otherwise we inject these hybridoma cells into the peritoneal cavities of the animals, and in that peritoneal cavity, okay, in the fluid, this cells is remain suspended and it will start to produce the antibody. And in vitro techniques, we will subject these hybridoma cells into the suitable culture in which the growth of this hybridoma cell is occur, and each hybridoma cell is capable to produce a large quantity of antibody. Why? Because this hybridoma cell is a fusion of lymphocyte cell and the myeloma cell. Okay, they receive the character of the lymphocyte cell, and that's why they are capable to produce the antibody, and they receive the characteristic of the myeloma cell, and that's why they are capable to remain alive for the long period of the time. So by this way we can produce the specific antibody for the long period of the time by hybridoma cells. So this is about the hybridoma techniques. Now we will move forward to the applications of the hybridoma techniques. Applications of the hybridoma techniques. Okay, if we talk about the applications, okay, so hybridoma techniques is utilized for identifications of the ABO blood group over the blood group, whatever the antibody is that specific antibody can be produced with the help of this hybridoma technique. Second one, it is utilized for the detections of pregnancy by assaying the hormones with the monoclonal antibody. It is utilized to separate the specific substance from the mixture. Okay, it is utilized for the purification process. Okay, so it is used to purify the specific interferon. It is used for the inactivations of the lymphocyte. That lymphocyte is responsible for the rejections of the organ transplant. Okay, if any kidney, otherwise the liver, okay, is transplanted, so that organ, new organ, is considered as a foreign component by our immune system. So our cytotoxic T cell, means our lymphocyte cell, will try to reject this organ, and this lymphocyte cell is become inactivated in the presence of this monoclonal antibody. Second one, it is also used to remove the tumor cells. Okay, the specific antibody will target over the specific antigens of the cancerous cell, and it can destroy, it can clear the cancer cells. Okay, it is used in the treatment of the acute renal failures. And last one, okay, treatment of malignant leukemic cells. Okay, B cell leukemia and varieties of the allograft rejections after the transplantations. Okay, in that all the cases that treatment can be done with the help of the monoclonal antibody. So this is about the applications of the monoclonal antibody. In simple sense we can say that is the applications of the hybridoma techniques. Okay, so here the hybridoma techniques is completed. Now we conclude our lecture here. Thank you very much.